This week, I think it was Monday that it went up.
Monday.
Blue Origin. If you're not familiar, it's the luxury space cruise that Jeff Bezos and his company. Does he have a parent company does like Amazon own Blue Origin, or is that separate? Like Elon has SpaceX and X and Tesla.
I can look. I don't know. It might just be his own thing. So let me look.
Big Red Tower saying Blue Waffle Origin. Yes, that's the new ship that they're coming out with. Anyway, so his space program, Blue Origin, took Katy Perry, Lauren Sanchez. Is that his fiance?
That's his fiance.
Gayle King, here in the United States, known as Oprah's best friend, also an anchor on CBS This Morning. Amanda Guyon. I don't know who she is.
So.
I don't know who the other three are. Aisha Bowe and Carrie Ann Flynn. I'm not familiar with them.
I believe Aisha Bowe is the black woman from, I believe.
Why she gotta be black?
Because she was black. And currently still black. I think she was an actual rocket scientist for NASA. I don't know what she's doing now, but she was a rocket scientist for NASA. So, and then Amanda Nguyen was a former NASA astronaut candidate, and then sexual assault survivor advocate. So those are like really the only two like scientists. Everybody else was like some kind of celebrity.
Gotcha.
That's what we need to send Mickey up on. Just put him in one capsule.
Celebrity space program.
Yeah, exactly.
Every time they go up, it's the episode of Deep Space Homer.
It's always Mickey Rourke in there too. They walk in and he's just sitting there. He's like, "Let's do this."
Gary Busey opens up a bag of potato chips, and they're like, "Careful!
Oh no, they're
pressurized." Yeah. Yeah. Mickey Rourke's trying to open the door while they're trying to do a spacewalk. He wants to go out and smoke a cigarette.
Real quick, Blue Origin, it's its separate company, so it's like a private company. Founded 24 years ago. So he's been doing this for a while.
Right. So they sent all of these people up there, and it was supposed to be a monumental moment in our culture.
Was it?
It was supposed to be a triumph for advancing women's representation and women's rights. I don't know how it affects women's rights. You're allowed to go to space. I don't know who's stopping you from going to space other than
just can't vote on it.
Technology, physics, and money. It was supposed to be this super huge ordeal. And it has been met with hatred, criticism, mockery, if you will. I don't hate it, but I do mock it, and I do think a lot of it is ridiculous. I'm not saying it wasn't necessary from entertainment perspective. Very much necessary. And what they have to live with going forward with this, because this will never escape them now.
Again, I made the point of imagine going into space, a feat that not a lot of people have ever been to do. And you come back
what about
Earth.
The legs? The upper calf region, those kind of things. Name other body parts. Go.
No.
God damn it.
More body parts.
Ruining the show.
Just imagine
I don't even want to
going
do
to
it
space
anymore.
And you're an idiot for doing so.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
So anyway, so I put together a nice little video package here of them. Who cares about it shooting up and into space and landing? As far as the fuselage of it landing, no one cares about that. Only anyone cares about is the giant part of the rocket that lands in the fucking tongs that Tesla's got. Not Tesla, but Elon's got for SpaceX. Right. That's impressive. Landing with a parachute in the desert. Okay, it's upright. I'll give you that.
Know what we care about? Just the tip.
Yeah, just the tip. Another thing. Everybody calling it the penis rocket. A lot of young people on TikTok. I'm
Target.com.
Yes. A lot of they sponsored the whole thing.
It's just leaving messages in like product reviews, and they're just venting about the penis-shaped rocket.
A lot of these people are saying, "Oh, the irony of 6 women going up in space in a phallic-shaped rocket." They've been making fun of the shape of this rocket for over a decade now. This is not anything new. I don't know why this keeps coming up. Like people think they thought of it and this was so unique and hilarious for it.
Right.
Yeah, it looks like the white vibrator thing that women use in porn. I get it, but we've all moved past that. So yeah, the personal massager,
Personal massage,
as it's labeled.
It's not what it is.
So I put this together. We're gonna watch them as they're in space, being ridiculous. And this, the only thing that would be worse than this is TikTokers and influencers in there, constantly not looking out the window at the planet, at the moon, at the vastness of space, maybe trying to see stars. Not looking at any of that stuff, where they would be sitting there taking videos, trying, why can't I stream to TikTok from here?
Fucking filming a Mr. Beast video up there.
Yeah, somebody's doing some kind of dance thing, you know, playing with filters. You're only up there for 10 minutes and you wasted all your time futzing around with your fucking phone. Anyway, let's take a look at this here. So
1, 2, 3, taking up space!
Yes, you certainly are.
Certainly
are taking up space. Some of them more than others.
3 seats being taken up that could have been used for qualified people.
Why did they say this, and why did they think this was a good thing to shout? Like this was their one small step for man.
This is what's called performative feminism. They're just coming up with slogans. They redesign their outfits. Look at the space outfits. Could you imagine?
They're wearing wetsuits.
They've got their cleavage out. They've got makeup on. They've got their hair done. They're all wearing jewelry.
There's no signs of oxygen masks if something cracks, if a seal breaks.
Spacesuits, parachutes.
A helmet. From the
helmet would be nice. Pressurized helmet, just in case.
Just to protect your noggin as you're going through the atmosphere, as flames are engulfing the outside of this capsule.
I'm going up in this capsule. I'm wearing the helmet that Mike Myers used to wear when he was tethered to the damn jungle gym. That's how much the protection I need.
I'm wearing the helmet Rick Moranis had in Spaceballs. Like taking all the protection that I can get, because if that thing lands with a parachute, there's no thrusters, there's no legs, there's no anything to thwart the projection or soften the landing. If that parachute goes, they're screwed. It's like the guy who jumped from space for Red Bull. You know,
because you're still going to be sitting in that capsule with all these women going, I'm surrounded by assholes.
Yeah. Asshole. Call me sir. God damn it. Different movie. Yeah, there's nothing up there. Nothing. It looks like, you know what it looks like? It looks like when you would go on the 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea ride at Disney, where you're like, oh, I'm underwater. But if you looked over the railing, you'd see that you walk down into the thing and it just makes it look like you're submerging, but you're on a track in a 4-foot tank. That's exactly. It's a jungle gym. It's a gym. It's like a bouncy house for these nothings. I would have more
fun putting a quarter into the little spaceship machine outside the fucking Kroger or something.
Right. So taking up space means what?
Space.
Oh, it's something about space.
Space for women to do more things and to be involved in processes.
This isn't advancing women's rights or
it's not
anything to do with women. This just makes them look worse. This is the equivalent of the Imagine video during COVID.
Oh, that was bad.
Sam, I keep saying Sam Simon, but it's not Sam Simon. That was the creator of The Simpsons. Sam Smith.
Sam Smith.
When he was sitting out in his courtyard of his mansion crying that he can't go see other people and he really feels the plight of the world because they were all trapped inside.
Oh, yeah.
It's those tone deaf things. There was something like last year that came out, remember? We said it's on that list too.
It's every time they do these things about like when the hurricanes were coming.
Oh, it was a vote thing. It was the vote thing with the Avengers.
That's right.
Yeah, it's all these things where you go, wow, you think this is a great idea, but it's to regular people, you're totally missing the mark on all of this stuff here. But they're taking up space, and boy, are they. So, why there's no audio here is just because they always got to turn this into a cinematic experience, so there's fucking music and whatever, so I dropped it out. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is just really dumb. So now they're just... It seems like... What's the... I know they call it the vomit comment, but the plane where they take you up and they do the rolls up and down, the loops, so it looks like you're weightless, so they could film scenes for movies and what have you.
Yeah.
That's all this is. You're up there for what, 10 minutes?
It gets you the way you have to dip and then increase your speed, you're only getting about 20 to 25 seconds of weightlessness every interval.
Not the plane. What they're doing here.
Oh, they're maybe 11 minutes, maybe.
This looks like that, when you're playing Space Invaders and that one ship's going across the top and you're trying to shoot through the barriers and the space things to hit the extra points of that spaceship. That's what they're doing. All right, here she is with a daisy. I couldn't figure out the flower thing up until I found out that her kid's name is Daisy. I was not aware of that. I thought this was some weird hippie peace and love kind of nonsense.
Well, she looks so dead-eyed too. The way she's doing it, I was like,
there's a lot of hurt behind those eyes, and it's not just from Russell Brand. It's from years of Christian music and other things that the music industry has just destroyed her soul. So all right, once I realized that it was for her daughter, then I was like, all right, I'll take a step back from that. That I kind of get,
I don't. And I have kids.
Okay.
Screw her.
I like how they're all wearing their wetsuits. They're about to go boogie boarding.
Right. Designed by Lauren Sanchez, by the way. Like, she designed these suits.
You can buy them on Amazon.
Look, we brought toys
to symbolize,
like every astronaut does on every space mission.
She brought I guess her flag. She's from Bermuda, I guess.
Yeah, the Bahamas, something like that.
See, this is the shit.
It's fine, but see, she was qualified to this. She's the rocket scientist. Good for you.
Right.
You're the first of your country or ethnicity or whatever to do this. That is a symbolic thing to do.
Right.
Katy Perry sang "Fucking Roar." Like, who cares? Oh God, I hate her.
Views so hot it'll melt your popsicle. Whoa.
She kissed a girl and she liked it.
Yeah. How many of them did you think she kissed? She had to have motorboated that Sanchez chick.
That's how she got on.
She's like, look, there's no cameras. Nobody will ever be able to prove it online. I'm going in. And she slowly floats over. She pushes off from one side to propulsion, lands right in her cleavage.
Yeah. It's a flotation device.
I would do that. And they're like, hey, space. It was an accident. What can you tell?
Also made with space grade material.
Right. I'm just taking up space. Thank you very much. That's the whole motto of this thing. So yeah, they're flying upside down. Then there. Now this capsule is coming down
fast.
This looks like it was stock footage from Lost in Space or some kind of cheesy old 60s futuristic space movie. It lands in the desert.
Yeah, they took off from Texas and landed back in Texas.
Other than the space shuttle, which they had to land, I believe, in California when the shuttles used to have to come down.
Yeah, so
right?
they used to have. I've actually seen a shuttle glide in once when they were doing it back when they were landing them in California. Yeah, it was like the Mojave Desert.
I'm going to bring this up. You know what? I'm going to save this thing, but I'm going to bring it up again here later on. But for now, Old Redless is in the chat saying Shatner went up. Nobody mocked him. No, because people knew the value of him going up there. Mm-hmm. You could go through history and rattle off famous captains, be it for Air Force, Navy, sea vessels, going back to pirate days or colonial times, any of those things here. But when it comes to space stuff, you always think of Enterprise and Captain Kirk. Say what you want about Star Wars, any other space property. They had an Enterprise space shuttle. They had an Enterprise rocket before that. They'll have an Enterprise, whatever the next thing is coming. It was symbolic of the space program. Him going up there was a cultural moment, meant something. But Shatner didn't come back down and say, I'm an astronaut. This was for the advancement of mankind. He came out and started saying, this was an amazing experience. I never thought I would be able to have this happen in my lifetime. It was so peaceful and dark and serene, and you'd be able to sit there in the vastness of space, and you think
he was waxing very poetic about.
He was taking it all in like you should. And meanwhile, at that point, Jeff Bezos is shaking a bottle of champagne next to him.
That pissed me off so much.
It's like Shatner's is
the oldest man in space for one,
right?
Iconic captain in sci-fi and in history. I mean, even if you think about how it advanced black women's rights when Uhura and they're fighting for her to be on TV, and they were the first
it was a milestone in civil
TV.
rights for media for the country. Yeah,
And you send this man up. He's waxing poetic about this how it makes you feel small in the universe and how amazing the experience is. And Bezos is like, "Give me that champagne, woo!" And then it's like, I fucking want to punch you in your gut.
Yeah, it's like he had the tub of Gatorade and was ready to dump it on Shatner. It's like, yeah, we went to space.
Dies of hypothermia.
Snaps him with a wet towel right on his ass as he's talking to CBS. Pablo C saying, yeah, Shatner was appropriate, especially at his age. Right. And when he came back, he was really speaking from the heart of as a human being. Bezos ruined that whole thing, but nobody mocked him going up there because none of them thought it was a scientific adventure, that it was benefiting mankind. Nobody said they were astronauts. He went up there and he goes, this was an opportunity. This was
I'm not advancing science in any way.
This was was not you could say it's a ride, but this was a voyage. It was a trip.
Sure.
He got to be a part of it. Nobody mocked that. In fact, the other Blue Origin stuff that they did, people weren't mocking that either. They were just saying, well, it's not like they're not close to what SpaceX is doing, but they're doing something. So another company doing something is always good for the advancement of an industry and science and humanity and what have you.
Right.
This time around, they turned it into a publicity event.
Oh, 100%.
That was just like you're promoting, like this could have been a Coachella thing. Mm-hmm. The way they were trotting these people out there and the way they were talking about all this stuff. And you're like, really? This doesn't mean as much as you think. It means a lot to you because you're a very small percentage of this species that gets the opportunity to do it. Everybody else on this planet is never going to have this opportunity, or at least as of now, we're never going to have that opportunity. You did. Take that as value. Talk about that, not about, you're going to hear in a clip later, they're saying we took the same route that Alan Shepard did.
Oh, and I have thoughts on that.
And I'm like, what? You think you're you dumb seas. So anyway, the capsule lands here in the desert.
That hit hard too.
Yeah, it did. Now I'm going to show you here. This footage was going around on the news, online. All the clips were showing Bezos opening the door, going in, welcoming them back. Mm-hmm. Shortly after those videos were put out, and the news was putting that out, somebody said, "Oh no. You got to see what happened before that," and that's what we have right here.
There was 2 live feeds. We had one live feed, and then when what you're about to show happened,
right? They
cut, and then they started the other live feed, which conveniently had no sound, and did all their little performative dance.
Right. So, all right. So this lands here. I'm going to just show on full screen without us for a moment here. Look at this. The door opens from the inside. They figured it out, and they're like, "Oh, let's open the door and get out." Whoever this handler is for Bezos or for Blue Origin runs over there.
Yep.
Like waving, no, and tells them to shut the door, and they resealed it there so that they could ceremoniously open up the door.
Here's the thing. Here's the problem with this already. Every other NASA-built capsule, spacecraft, anything has to be sealed from the outside to maintain pressurization.
Right.
There is no chance in hell that should have been able to be opened by whatever idiot opened the door from the inside.
Right. Yeah, you don't just spin the wheel like to an old safe,
it's or like a submarine.
Yeah, I was going to say the compartment doors in submarine vessels where you're spinning the wheel to lock it in to keep the water there. Yeah, they should not have been able to open this that easily.
No.
So that happened. So that was the footage that you didn't see that came out shortly after the official footage they were putting out for the news, that this came over here. So this started the ball rolling with conspiracy because already people were mocking this and just aggravated and even hating the way Katy Perry was talking about this. They certainly do not like that Lauren Sanchez person. Yeah, Gayle King was getting some criticism. The other 3, I don't think are really even brought up in the conversation.
No, one of them is like a documentary filmmaker and philanthropist, which it's fine, but she is quiet. And then the other 2 who are actually qualified to be doing any of this are going by the wayside. Like they're not talking about them at all. And they're the more interesting of the group.
Right. But in the sake of this situation right now, it's best that those 3 are not talked about this stuff
keep
here.
Away.
Right? So even keep away. People aren't going and seeking out them. They're just going after Lauren Sanchez, Gayle King, and Katy Perry for all of this stuff.
As right they should.
All right, so we keep going here. So now we just saw multiple times zoomed in. Now this is the ceremonial footage of him opening the door, which I don't even know how that's happening because as we saw from the previous footage, there's no handle or anything on the front to open it.
He's got a key. He has this like key or some kind of carbon rod or something. Like there's something that he has to insert in one of those holes. The inanimate carbon rod.
Everything is phallic going into holes.
Yep, exactly. So he's holding. You can see it in his hand. So he's put it in, and now he's twisting it open.
It's an IKEA Allen wrench, is what he's doing.
Yeah, it's the Allen wrench Carmen line. But look how easily the door opened, too.
Yeah. It should have
There was no, he should have had to, really force that open. And again, if they made this correctly, the door would have had to come off or open out.
Right. Another thing I want to point out with this is that a big reason why a lot of NASA and even SpaceX stuff lands in the ocean, one, obviously, there's vast amounts of ocean, so it's not going to hit anything. Right. Mm-hmm. Two, it will soften and decrease the collision with the Earth dramatically. Three, it cools the fuselage down.
Yeah.
It just came as a fireball coming through the atmosphere. It lands in the ocean. They got to wait a little bit. That's why it's floating there. They get out to it and they don't go and open the thing right away. They got to take their time to bring it up there because it's cooling it down from the ocean. And even then, when they go to open those things, they're wearing gloves and stuff. They're not just touching the fucking thing like he's opening a shed.
Right. Typically what happens is when an astronaut comes in and is in something maybe even remotely like this, they spend hours in there. They got to depressurize. They've got to go through protocol. There are doctors, there are ambulances, there are medical teams there examining them, making sure that they don't have any latent radiation issues. There are 1,000 different things going on before they're even let out of this capsule. And sometimes they spend hours in there after they've touched down on Earth. These people just walked out like nothing happened.
Well, there's so much that's wrong with all of this here. Big Red Tower saying Neil Armstrong spent 20 minutes trying to get the hatch open while on the moon. Buzz Armstrong. Why am I saying it's not Lightyear? What the fuck was his name?
You just want to watch you fucking
Aldrin.
Deal with this. There we go.
Buzz Aldrin
watch it.
Finally dangerously pried it open with a tool. Yeah.
Well, he hates the moon, so I get it.
Yeah, I spaced for a little bit. Pun. There we go. What did it say? Pablo C saying, I dislike how Bezos is dressed like he's going for a casual lunch in his jeans and a t-shirt. Yeah. At least look ceremonial. Wear your outfit, an official outfit for Blue Origin while you're at it there.
Tux and tails.
Yeah. Okay, so this is his wife coming out here, right? This is Lauren Sanchez?
Fiance, I think, but yeah.
Fiance, okay. And then he's like, get out of here. Now we got to get the celebrities out. She's first. He's like, I love you. Yeah, get over there. Let's do the celebrities because this is what is going to make our money.
Then this idiot. So Katy, right at the sun.
Now, I want to point something out here, too. So while he's finishing with Lauren Sanchez and then saying, beat it, get over there, get out of the line of the camera. Look, she's there talking to Katie's on that little mini stair ramp that looks like it looks like the stairs to one of those
pictures with.
It looks like those stairs to the Hobbit house or a tiny one of those tiny houses that they were building and trying to sell. She's talking to the Blue Origin representative. He's up in front here looking like Paul Schaefer, telling her to get out of the way of the camera. Katy Perry waits for her to walk away, then sees the cameras are clear and then performs. Mm-hmm. See, now she puts the daisy up in the air because that represents her daughter and hope for civilization and whatever other nonsense she's going to do. She kisses the daisy, gets off the ground. This aggravated the hell out of me, and it shouldn't have, but it did. She hops off the little step stool, jumps down to the ground, leans and kisses the earth. Thank God. Thank God we made it back home. You know who didn't kiss the earth? The Apollo astronauts that got stranded and almost didn't make it home. Story being told is like once they were removed from the capsule and they were medically cleared, they went with other astronauts and technicians to the bar on base and had shots of a celebratory drink. Right? The 2 astronauts that were just up at the International Space Station, Sonny and whatever his name is, they were up there. They were up there 9 months longer than they were supposed to be.
Oh, did you see that poor woman? Like the way the being up there so long and the gravity and the difference elongated her chin and changed her physical, like just everything about her because of how long she was up there.
Right.
It was crazy.
It took them a while. They had to be carried out.
Yeah.
Of this SpaceX capsule because they just couldn't function with Earth's gravity and it was going to take a while, which is expected. They know that this was going to happen. Those 2, if they would have said, put me down on the ground and they leaned over to kiss the ground, perfectly acceptable. In fact, it would have been applauded and like, yes, absolutely. You know, you did suffer, even though they didn't fully suffer, but they overcame a really drastic hardship. They have the right to do that. This, you had a 10-minute tourist ride. You were essentially on the slingshot at the Jersey Shore. You went up there and then came right back down.
I was going to say, it's when you get off Mr. Toad's Wild Ride and you kiss the ground thinking, I made it. I got back.
Yes. I didn't puke on the teacups. That's what you're doing here.
Exactly.
So she leans down. She kisses the fucking sand.
She's such an idiot.
Now, this is Gayle King coming out. She does the same thing. She's old and decrepit. She's kneeling down. She's kissing the ground. Gayle probably didn't see that Katy did that. She's like, oh, I'm going to do that. That'll be my big news moment. It's like, no, Katy already did it. And you just look like a poser. And we're mocking her even more for it.
Earth looked it was so quiet. It was just quiet. And
all right, so this is the footage where...
Oh, God, these morons.
And this is what was fed to the news outlets. The news, it's not like CBS or NBC or CNN or any of them were out there to talk one-on-one with these people. Because when does that ever happen? When astronauts are brought out of the capsule? The news doesn't get to talk to them for a couple days. They got to resituate with the Earth's conditions. They got to see their family. They got to get medically cleared. They have to rest and get refluided and replenished with fluids and all of those things. And then, like a couple days later, then they're doing remotes, or they send a host down there to do a one-on-one for the Today Show or for CNN or something like that. You're not standing there in a field like you just got out of Burning Man. It's like, tell us about your experience. Well, the rain was really bad this season, and our RV was stuck. Parking. Yeah, my RV was stuck for 3 days. That's what they did. They got out of a stuck RV for 3 days, and she kissed the ground like, finally, we're free. But this, so this is the people at Blue Origin conducting these news interviews that they released to the outlets. So
very performative.
Yeah.
Is it what you expected?
No.
Better.
Oh my God.
And her face looked like that going before. So this wasn't a result of gravity.
She had cheekbones worked on. Her nose is horrible hatchet job, and she's got injections in her lips. She looks. Oh my God! Look at that. You could see the Botox scars right under her fake, probably tattooed on eyebrows.
Saying it was
she's got fake eyelashes on too.
Quiet, but then also
she
really
looks
alive.
Distorted. She looks like when you don't know how to mold clay properly.
And you look at it, and you're like, we're all in this together. Like, that's all I could think about is like, we're so connected, more connected than you realize, because you just see right here, you see states and all these things that divide us, but we're not. All the love that was in that capsule, and all the heart and the feelings and all the things. It was a feeling.
She almost looks like, that meme for the trolling where it's that face and the jaw goes off to the side. Yeah, that's what she looks like.
And and come on.
Maybe that's her skull when she's done. They say it's like, oh my God, her face was the inspiration for that meme.
Camaraderie. It was a feeling of gratefulness. It was
camaraderie.
Old Restless is wondering if Mickey Rourke and Lauren Sanchez are the same person.
The same exact flight. and he became the first American in space. And 6 women just did the same flight that.
Okay, this is getting to the territory that I know you're going to get pissed at, and me and a lot of other people as well that love the space program, that love history, that love this country, and you're comparing yourselves to even the missions where you didn't know the astronauts' names, where they weren't as famous. You still respect them 1,000% more than this 10-minute joyride that billionaires.
This fucking tourist.
Yeah.
Capsule and all the heart and the feelings and all the things. It was a feeling of joy and camaraderie. It was a
camaraderie.
Didn't she lose to Trump in the last election?
She probably did.
Feeling of gratefulness. It was a feeling that we're doing this. And, Alan Shepard, I told you about this, did this same exact flight.
Who told them this?
No, he didn't.
Who gave them this press briefing?
This seems to be the fucking talking point they want to keep saying.
Yeah, we're the same as Alan Shepard. No, you're not. You're not even the same as Chuck Yeager if you flew on the fucking... what was the name of that flight that had the sonic boom from New York to England?
Oh, the Concorde?
The Concorde. You flew on the Concorde. It's like, we had a sonic boom. I'm just like Chuck Yeager. No, you're not. You're not the first person to do this.
Because here's the problem. They went 62 miles up in the air.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's the thing. They barely hit the Kármán line, which is what separates space and Earth.
Yeah.
That's the
lower orbit, inner space, outer space.
Suborbit.
Yeah, all of that.
Alan Shepard didn't do that. He went almost twice as far, 116 miles up in the air, at a time where we didn't know if that was even possible. He was a human guinea pig. He did this. You did not do the same thing as Alan Shepard. You did not even come close to what Alan Shepard did.
We took the same route.
Years.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, Magellan. You know who took the same route as Magellan? Cruise ships. Are you a fucking international explorer?
Like Magellan.
I took the same route as Columbus. Yeah, we all did. I left out of Fort Lauderdale. No, I left out of Spain, came down to the Bahamas, went to Jamaica and Aruba. I'm just like Christopher Columbus.
She says, "Oh God,
and he became the first American in space." And
hold on a second, we're staying corrected. Frankie Bronson. Yeah, but she's hot, Jordan. No, she's not. She's not.
No, she's not.
She's Clayface. She's exactly what Jordan said.
Just did the same.
She's part of Batman's rogue gallery.
Yeah.
He did it.
All right, I gotta go back because I want to get disgusted.
Gratefulness.
And that's why you don't let women in space.
We're doing this, and
I'm all for it. Standing out there at signs saying no more women in space.
All they do is cry when they come back.
If you want to cry about taking rights away, guess what? I'm all for taking away women's rights in space because of what even the female astronauts that are up there that are brilliant doctors and scientists and physicists, and they're saying, yeah, maybe we need to dial this down a little bit there. You're setting us back quite a ways.
Told you about this. Did the same exact flight.
Nope.
And he became the first American in space. And 6 women just did the same flight that.
Yeah.
No, you didn't.
You didn't, though. You did
Gayle
half
King.
of it.
And she's all crying.
Just like your pay, you did half of what Alan Shepard did.
No, you know what you did the same as Alan Shepard did and everybody else since Alan Shepard? You got into the border area of space. You did more than most of human civilization. I'll give you that. But it's not by your own doing. It's because you spent the money to go. And in Gayle's case, Oprah, that was like her birthday present. I spent the $25 million to send Gayle to space. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
You're never going to top. You know how Rob
was handing it out like, you get a space flight. You get a space flight. Everyone gets one.
You know how like Rob McElhenney and Ryan Reynolds are always vying to outdo each other for their birthdays? And
right.
Yeah. Oprah just trumped everybody. I sent Gayle to space. I was tired of dealing with her, so I sent her to space for a little while.
It's Katy Perry's problem for another.
Top that. All right, now we're talking to Gayle King.
Officially an astronaut. How do you
feel?
feel?
You're not.
No, you're not.
Alan Shepard is an astronaut. That man trained for 2 years.
Right.
And put his body through hell while he was sick, had a disease, got cured, and then did Apollo, one of the Apollo missions, and walked on the fucking moon. You went on a ride, Gayle.
Yeah. Jim Lovell is an astronaut. Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin. Those are all real astronauts. Hell, at this point, Tom Hanks and Gary Sinise are more astronauts.
especially Gary Sinise.
Yeah, he went in that simulation trying to figure out how to get everything down to the power level just so that it could. Yeah, I know. Fucking.
Still can't
I want to go back and watch Apollo 13. It was a great
I'm going to
movie.
go watch it tonight.
accept that word, but I will say
Okay, what did she say here?
he didn't.
Gayle King, you are officially an astronaut. How do you feel?
I still can't accept that word, but I will say
You can't, and you
Because you're
shouldn't. That if you want to talk about appropriation, that is appropriation. You are not an astronaut. That is almost stolen valor at this point. You're not a doctor. You're not anyone of military rank or note. You're nothing. You're a talk show host and well, no, sorry, you're not even a talk show host. You're a news anchor and best friend to the world's most famous talk show host.
Right.
That's it. You're not an astronaut.
it's I can't even believe what I saw. When somebody calls this a ride, this was not a ride.
It was
Yes,
a
it was.
ride.
It was a ride.
A venture even. I'll take a step.
Did you push any buttons? Did you control this capsule? You did nothing.
It was a
That's
journey.
It was
You
a ride.
all you dingbats want to talk about your journeys on social media. This was a journey. I'll give you that.
Her at least that.
It's like follow me on my journey. Yes, this I agree with. This is your journey. It's not an astronaut. This was not a flight. This was not a medical or science expedition. This was
brought
a this
fucking
was a
stuffed
glorified
animal,
ride.
and you went on a ride.
Yeah, Frankie's asking, why did she have red hair? I don't know. Did her hair oxidize in the desert from coming back? Is she contaminated? Did she bring space viruses with her?
Can she flame on?
Oh my God. If they did come back and they had a look, I'll say they're astronauts. If they came back and had a Fantastic Four origin story and they all had weird, trippy powers, then okay, you know what? You're astronauts. I'll give that to you. You know, they're out there, they get hit by an asteroid storm or a comet.
Well, what happened to us was not a ride. This was a bona fide friggin' flight. And our instructor
Casey in the I saw that. She'd be as useful as a bunch of billionaires on a submarine if something went wrong. Well, we had the submarine happen. Unfortunately, we have
really
not.
hoping this was another submarine issue.
We did not have the the space capsule.
we were
incident
so
yet.
well prepared. So every noise
Oh my God, well prepared.
this was a bona fide friggin' flight. And our instructor, we were so well prepared. So every noise we heard, we knew. But the flight instructor said,
What is that supposed to mean? Every noise we heard, we knew.
If you hear this creak, if you hear this if you hear the metal sound like it's bending
About to crush in on
from
you
the pressures
impending
of the
pressure.
atmosphere.
There's a reason why most of the capsules don't have as many windows as you have on them.
I knew to hit
because
the
of
yellow
pressures
button.
of
If I heard
space.
creaking, I would just repeatedly hit the yellow button until that creaking went away.
Had a
We were
good
very
run.
well prepared. We were trained.
I'm her best success story. Why? Because she's never had somebody go through the course who's terrified of flying. Everybody who's
I think no matter how well you're trained, you always have that in you as human instincts that you're terrified of
I
flying.
can't even get on a step ladder without feeling like I'm going to fall. That would freak me out.
Air Force pilots, Navy pilots that have trained their entire lives just hopefully getting into the space program. As much as they love flying, they're wanting to be astronauts because they love flying. They are also terrified when they go up there, and they're the most trained people in the world for these kind of missions, and they're still terrified. They'll all
It's a
tell
good,
you that
healthy
they were
fear.
terrified. Nobody goes, I'm just going to have a jaunt up in space. I'll be back in a little bit. Yeah, I'll be right back.
gone through the course is somebody that it's been a lifelong dream. They wanted to do it. So she said, I'm her best success story. I'm so proud of me right now. I still can't believe it. When we were up there, after zero G is very difficult. You know, all the training about this is how you get in the chair and this. I look like a friggin' moose getting in the chair. It was like, just let me get in the chair. Let me get the seatbelt on. But, you know, we had a very, do this.
How would you describe it?
It's very difficult because you're floating. But the best part was when we got back in our seats after zero G's, Katy sang "What a Wonderful World."
She did?
Isn't that nice?
Oh, come on.
She sang "What a Wonderful World." I see
Did you just all
dreams.
start
Oh
crying?
yes.
Oh.
Because we.
Let me ask you something. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it wasn't the Apollo 13 mission, but there was some mission where they were re-entering Earth's atmosphere. And they were one of the most terrifying experiences you can have as a human being. One of those missions, weren't they singing a song coming back into or weren't they singing the national anthem or something like that? I thought I remember one of those things where they were singing something patriotic or spiritual, whatever, coming through the atmosphere, hoping they made it home. That's out of fear. That's not out of joy. That's out of fear that you do that. And they're sitting there. I was up there, hand clapping and knee slapping the Rubber Band Man. It's like, what? What? Why would... Oh, fuck all of this. All of this.
Katy started rapping an Eminem song. It felt very appropriate.
Right.
I've been asking her to sing all the time, and she wouldn't. And then, because everybody said, sing roar, sing fireworks. And she said, it's not about me.
Sing roar, sing fireworks. Can you sing the popsicle line from California Girls? You know what? Gayle knows the Snoop Dogg rap part. You sing that, and she'll join in as Snoop Dogg. Can we do that? Can we have
we were up
Can we have a powwow?
Looking out the window, and Jordan just kept reciting the book "Goodnight Moon."
Yeah,
it's not about me, Eric.
It's all about go to fuck to sleep.
I wanted to talk about the world. Wow. I would say that we are forever bounded, because you can't go through what we went through to look out for each other, to help each other, and not be changed by that.
What were you doing to look out for each other, other than float past Lauren Sanchez?
Oh, I pulled her hair back so she could see out the window. I pulled her arm down so she could tighten her seatbelt.
It really is a true, people throw the word around, but it really is a true sisterhood. Mm-hmm. But it speaks to...
sisterhood, unity, bonding.
Katy Perry with her daisy is the sisterhood of traveling plants.
How we were set up for success.
I don't think I didn't hear that.
The training
I heard that.
was so, I can't stress this enough. The training was so friggin' good. We were set up for success.
They did an online course.
Their training. Are they sitting in those chairs that are spinning you around to get maximum G's? Are they putting you in the suits where they submerge you in Olympic-sized pools to see how you...
Katy Perry so fast she looked like Popeye?
Yeah, you have to spend hours at the bottom of a pool trying to function like you're in space and hope that your suit doesn't malfunction. Did you go through any of that stuff?
No, she took an online course and then got her high school degree.
Yeah, I passed the written part.
She did air conditioner repair.
I got to keep the tools at the end. I passed the written exam, and then I had to do like a double dare obstacle course. And then when I got the last orange flag, they were like, we were all cleared. We could go.
Not one of these women are drinking
it went
Tang.
Exactly as they told us it was.
A different kind
was going to. Every boom that you heard, the drones, the drogues coming out, the parachutes.
Drones.
Ooh, there's drones.
Okay.
Parachutes coming out. It went exactly as they said.
Are you glad you did it?
Hi, I wanted to talk of two things. I want to talk. It's my turn to talk.
Well, I was trying to cut it. That was a sloppy cut on my end there. But listen to what Katy's saying. I'm going to raise the volume up. Listen to what she says.
The drogues coming out, the parachutes coming out. It went exactly as they said.
Are you glad you did it?
I'm the crier of the group.
I guess.
Hi guys, we all have personalities. She's the fun one. I'm the pretty one. I'm the crier. The ugly one. This is Teen Girl Squad, is what it is.
Teen Girl Squad.
Arrowed.
Arrow.
Capsule crash.
The ugly one.
Seal leak. Well, I'm trying to think.
So good.
So good. I can't breathe. Yeah.
How was your flight? It was so good.
Crack, crack. What's that noise? VoIP suffocation.
What's her face?
No, you're not the crier of the group.
Healer of the group.
No, you are not.
I'm crier.
I'm going to tell you something right now.
So she tried to come up with two different names, and that reporter's like, no, you're not. You're not even that one. Stop trying to give yourself an identity with this group here.
It's coming out.
All right, here it comes.
The drogues coming out, the parachutes coming out. It went exactly as they said.
Are you glad you did it?
Here.
No, you're not the crier of the group.
Healer of the group.
I'm the first I thought she said the healer, but I'm the feeler of the group. No, everyone fucking felt something. I hate that. It's like, you don't know how personally I felt this experience compared to everybody else. I don't care.
No, you are not.
I'm crier.
I'm going to tell you something right now. You are officially an astronaut.
No, you're not.
Stop telling people this. You're not.
Not everyone gets a trophy in this activity.
Yeah.
Knock it off.
This is like when your kid is like you're in a resort in the Caribbean and they pass the 2-hour snorkeling thing and you're officially a scuba diver now. Not really. You're not. At this resort, yeah, you in title only. You might get the T-shirt and the badge. the thing that you sew on your fucking backpack or your sweatshirt or something. You're not going out to see, Spanish shipwrecks. You're not going out there to see coral reefs
because he took a 2-hour course at the Bahamas thing.
Yeah.
You are
what is it?
officially
Sandals?
Yeah.
Be an astronaut.
Thank you so much.
How do you?
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You've
Thank
truly reached enlightenment. You are now above everybody. You can
so much.
ascend into the heavens. Thank you. I know. No.
Thank you.
Oh, you want to headbutt her so much. As pretty as she is,
The air.
the personality kills all of it.
I feel super connected to love.
To love?
What does that mean?
Super connected to love? You go up there and I go, dude, I have a whole new appreciation for this planet, for the universe, for everything. That's what you get the appreciation for. It's not like I came back with such love and kindness in my
Could you
heart.
imagine? They interview you, be like, so what did you feel? It's like, man, that was fucking scary as shit. I think I shit myself. I'm so tired. I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm not an astronaut. I sat there.
Yeah.
I didn't even get out of my chair. I didn't want to look out the window. I don't even it's like, I couldn't even be on the 50th floor of a New York high rise right now. And they're like, I'm super connected to love.
No, that's not how this works. It's not at all. It's like, they're talking about this. I feel connected to love. I know how to solve the world's problems. I think I saw aliens.
We're forever
The government sees these video clips going out there and go, all right, let's investigate Blue Origin here. See, it's like, they're all suffering from like hypoxia or something, right? There's not enough oxygen in their head. They're all hallucinating. They can't be normal people going up there and doing this.
I may want to sue another person because I couldn't buy their mansion.
I want to
She's
work
done
with
twice.
another producer accused of sexual assault for other various pop artists. I want to work with the guy that created NSYNC and Backstreet Boys and then molested all those other nonsense groups. That's who I'm going to work on my next album with. I think his name was Max or something.
So connected to love. I think this experience has shown me you never know how much love is inside of you. Like,
What does this mean? Why? How are you?
It's word vomit.
like how much love you have to give.
She has no idea how to express anything. So
She
this
doesn't
is
know where to go.
She's
just
like, I don't
trying
know how
find
to
the end of
describe. You know what's a fair description? You sit there and go, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know. I have to think about it for a bit. I don't know how to describe
something. I
how
don't know how to talk about it.
what I saw, how I felt about that. This is something I need to sit on for a little bit. That makes all the sense in the world. Like I would get that. You went into outer space or space. That's more than I ever did or anybody else on this planet did. I would get that. When you start sitting there, I'm feeling compassion and understanding, like my soul has been recharged with my crystals that I brought up there with me. Wait, what? What did you say about crystals? And I have this brand new idea.
Spencer Pratt shows up.
I know how to solve the world's recycling issues. What? What happened? What is she talking about?
Right.
Her last album barely had any kind of sales. Now this next thing that she's going to put out there, when she was holding up the butterfly with the track listing for her new album.
It's her set list for the concert that she's starting with.
Whatever. Nobody could read it.
Right. She brings us love.
And how loved you are until the day you launch.
The song that you sang when you got up there. What a wonderful world. Why was that important to sing that particular song?
I've covered that song in the past, and obviously, like, my higher self is always steering the ship because I had no clue that one day I would decide to sing.
She was from a Christian household. She did Christian music before her name was Katy Hudson. She was a Christian singer before she switched over to being Katy Perry and doing pop music and all this ultra vapid sexual stuff that she does with her performances and her music and what have you. But now she's doing this like hippie, it's not even Buddhism stuff. It's that
It's just love and butterflies.
astrology, third eye kind of nonsense.
Mantra.
Yeah.
A little bit of that in space.
I'm
but
on a higher
I
plane of
think
existence
that
now.
It's not about me. It's not about singing my songs. It's about a collective energy in there. It's about us. It's about making space for future women and taking
Space for what? You're not making space. You didn't pave the way for future girls that are in school or going to college that can make way for scientists and doctors and what else to get more women involved in the space program. You spent $25 million to get a ticket on a ride.
Well,
so if you want to make space
No,
for other things, pay for other people to go. Go ahead.
And they're making a big deal about this all-women flight, but it's just a PR stunt. It's performative feminism. The same thing happened, I think, in 63 when...
That's a good show title. Go ahead.
Performative feminism. So they're talking, and they'll reference it, and they always talk about the flight in 1963 with Valentina Tereshkova. She was that Russian astronaut that went up. So in the 60s, Jerry Cobb was making a huge ordeal in Washington. She was trying to get more women into the Mercury program, and Russia said, well, let's do it first. So they got female parachute jumpers. They got a bunch of them. They trained them. They got them to choose the prettiest one, put her in front of cameras, sent her up by herself, and said, we did it first. A PR stunt, as it was then, as it is now. They're not breaking any barriers. She was,
But you could say at least
it's a stunt. But at least then it was a thing.
For when the Russians were doing it, there was a Cold War, there's a space race, there's all that. It was a publicity stunt, yes, but the intention was to boost the science program and they just wanted to be first to do it.
They do it all the time. They did it when Sally Ride was going to launch.
Right,
and
first teacher in
the
space.
The Soviets were like, no, and then they were like, you know what? Let's send Lana Sataskava. And they were like, let's make her walk out in space. Now she's not only the first woman to do this, she's the first woman to do a spacewalk. So go ahead, send Sally Ride up, and that's great for us as as Americans. But the Russians did it first again. Katy Perry and her little group of people aren't breaking barriers. They're not paving the way for young girls to look up to them. In fact, I think they're setting women back. A lot of
women online were saying that. It's like, this isn't the victory you think that this is. This isn't the bragging points. This comes off as, again, celebrities being tone deaf and unaware of what real people think and how real people live and experience these things. Look, am I jealous of them that they went up there? Absolutely. Would I love to go do that? Yes, I would.
In a heartbeat. Correct.
But I know what it is. I wouldn't come back down and think I'm an astronaut. It's like going to Kennedy Center and going to space camp for 2 weeks because I won the prize on goes back to Double Dare. But when you're going to space camp was the biggest prize that they had, which was fantastic.
Well, I watched Space Camp tonight.
You're doing all of this stuff there. I know I'm not an astronaut. I got a chance to do this. I got a chance to go to space. I loved it.
I had enough money to do this.
Yeah, I know that I was extremely fortunate, lucky, privileged, whatever, and now can be part of the advancement of humankind, being able to go and at least witness something like that.
Right.
Well, that's it. I didn't push science further. I didn't further an agenda for funding, for medical research, for any of that stuff. It's just I got a chance to go to see somewhat of an orbit, and I took it.
And from the outside looking in, it's easy to say that we're just two idiots sitting here ragging on women. But look, Casey in the chat says, as a woman with a master's degree in science, sending 3 unqualified women shits on all of us who had to fight our way through our industries.
I 100% agree.
100%. Because it just makes your accomplishments null and void in the eyes of the group, because you're right. There were 6 women. 2 of them were really qualified to actually do this, and no one wants to talk about them.
No.
Not one person. They're focusing on Katy Perry's dumb face and Gayle King and her stupidity.
Because I bet you the news is it's either this or we got to focus on Trump again. It's those two. So let's focus on that.
We have to have something.
Yeah. Lilith in the chat. Hi, everyone. Hello, Lilith. Hi, welcome. Let's continue on.
Taking up space and belonging. And it's about this wonderful world that we see right out there and appreciating it. That's
valid. I would say that. That's the first valid thing she said.
All for the benefit of Earth.
It didn't benefit Earth.
Well, and then she ruined it by saying that. Yeah. Within seconds.
It's awe of this beautiful planet and having an appreciation for it. Valid. Sure. Completely valid. In fact, if you didn't have that, we'd be like, what the hell is wrong with you? But then he's like, for the benefit, it didn't benefit anybody.
Yeah, what did you do?
Nothing.
What data did you collect?
You know what all this does?
Experiment did
this
you
is
run?
just she's just going to be shown. This is pre-concert clips before she comes out on stage for her tours
100%.
going forward. It's always going to be she went to space.
For us, because you're so brilliant at putting, words together and describing moments that we can all appreciate later.
No, she's not. This reporter's dumb too.
How would you describe the moment when you took off and then the moment you landed?
The moment, I mean, it is
Bumpy.
the highest high, and it is surrender to the unknown, trust.
Did she go to an AA meeting? I gave myself to a higher power. I stopped smoking cigarettes. I gave up drinking. I don't have a porn addiction.
And this whole journey is not just about going to space.
Yes, it is.
It was
That's
literally that.
all it is about, is that you got to go to space. That's all it is.
It's the training. It's the team. It's the whole thing. I couldn't recommend this experience more. This is like up there with all the
Hey, gals, go be an
different,
astronaut.
tools that I've learned in my life from meditation.
Save up your money, and then you too can get you can get the ticket on this ride here and play astronaut.
To the Hoffman process. This is up there because what you're doing is you're like really finding the love for yourself, because you got to trust in yourself on this journey, and then you're feeling the love when you come down.
It has nothing to do with love. Where is she pulling?
Science.
She has no other words or thoughts in her head that she keeps focusing on love.
She brings us love. Get her.
This trip up into lower orbit saved my marriage. Really? How?
Orlando
It's just,
Bloom.
I came back so full of love. You're an idiot, Katie. Back to you, Bob.
Sure. And you're feeling that strength. So I feel really connected to that strong, divine feminine right now.
By the way, you're such a badass. I love that the month of April, you're like, I'm going to space and I'm launching my tour. I mean, it's really incredible.
Yeah, that's such a badass. That doesn't just explain plainly this was a publicity stunt.
It's PR for rich people.
So dumb. I have two more clips to show you. I think we'll skip segment 2 for this week.
Sure. I'm fine with that.
I want to go to this next because. All right, let's do Gayle King's response, and then I'm going to show you something that happened the week before that I only was made aware of today, and I think is I don't throw this term around loosely. Brilliant. This is Gayle King, like a couple days after, where everyone's just saying is shitting on this whole thing, and they're like, "Oh, you're just attacking them because they're women, and everybody's prejudiced, and this is trying to pave the way for womankind and for their future." It's like none of this did any of that. If, like we've said before, if anything, it set back the perception with the public that this is just something that millionaires and billionaires get to do. The general public of the planet will never get a chance to do this.
Some people were comparing it to the let them eat cake, Marie Antoinette type stuff. It's
Right.
like you're so disconnected from what the people are dealing with that you're just like, everyone should be able to do this. This is such an amazing experience. No one's going to be able to do it.
Yeah.
No one has the money, the resources to ever make this happen in their lifetime.
Preston in the chat saying Katie's video, it's like, I'm so proud of myself. It's
I
like,
did so much work.
Pat yourself on the back and then fucking, stroke yourself off at night to say how, fantastic you were with the love that you have for yourself being a pirate or a space astronaut or whatever you're claiming to be after this.
Space pirate.
I'm a space pirate. I went up there and I saw the robots from Mystery Science Theater, and I was on the satellite of love, and I really felt the love there. And then we made fun of the Taylor Swift tour movie, and then we came back home, and I really just felt a deep appreciation for myself and love and the planet and love and also love. Miss Bill in the chat, Miss Bi in the chat, sorry, Miss B in the chat, third time's a charm. I apologize. For me, my biggest complaint is that it looks so fake. None of it looked real at all. And the fact that she turned this whole into a publicity thing, I don't know. There's a clip somewhere that I saw the other day I tried to save that shows a big blue screen behind them.
Trust me, the internet is rife with conspiracy theory right now.
I saw a clip.
Partly, I'm into it.
I saw a clip of when you're talking about there's no good conspiracy theories out there, I'll buy into this one. Whatever's going out there, and I'll go with it.
I want the pyramids to be stargates.
Yeah, to have those pillars below it.
Be stupid. Yes,
I'm with you on both. And I will definitely look to fund your research for this. There's footage out there. I should have pulled this one too, but they were showing the back part of the capsule, and they zoom in, and it's a mannequin. You see a mannequin hand in the spacesuit in one of the seats. I don't know from what time period it was, but they were saying it was from the same. It was recorded. Somebody walked around the perimeter, and they found in one of the windows. You can look it up. See if you can find it while I play the next thing there. Yeah, they found a mannequin in one of the chairs there. Ridiculous. All right, so this is Gayle King defending what they went through and said you wouldn't have attacked men if they were doing this.
Use space technology all the time, whether it's your GPS, whether it's your satellite. That doesn't just happen. Every time a flight goes up, they get some type of information. Two of the astronauts, I still have a hard time calling myself an astronaut, but
because you're not an astronaut.
That's why it's hard to call it, because it's not.
Because it's a lie.
Astronauts on board. One is a rocket scientist. One is an astrophysicist activist. We're actually doing experiments. But every time
there was no experiment. You had 10 minutes. You were not doing experiments.
I don't know what experiments you're doing in an 11-minute weightless suborbital rocket.
Yeah,
it ain't science.
No experiments.
One of those goes up. You get some information that can be used for something else. So.
Yeah, that's what SpaceX is. That's what NASA has always been about. You went up there and you had advancements for humankind. The microwave came from the space program. Radars, satellites, all of these things. Tang, of course, was the big thing that was pushed out there because that's what the astronauts drank.
A lot of Tang on that ship.
Space ice cream. The
freeze-dried ice cream?
Yeah. It looks ridiculous.
We got Dippin' Dots.
It looks ridiculous, but it's fantastic. If you're at a museum and oh my God, there's the NASA ice cream. It's you go and you spend the $6 for the thing, and you're eating. Essentially, it's like wafer cookies, but it's still delicious. It's melting in your mouth. It feels weird. It's I feel like I'm part of the future. Velcro. You're right. Velcro came out of the space program. Thank you, Old Restless. Thank you, Frankie Bronson, for bringing all that stuff up. Anyway.
I wish people would do more due diligence. And then my question is, have you all been to space? Have you been to space?
No, because we don't have $25 million to spend to go to space.
You, Gayle.
Don't ever sit there and have you been to space? That's like when Grimy and Homer were hanging, Grimy's all pissed at them. And it's you've been to space? And Homer goes, you've never been?
You've never been.
He wasn't doing it to be malicious. He was just talking about oh, you haven't been to space? I've been to space.
I can't even take 2 kids to Disneyland for an affordable price. I'm not going to space, Gayle.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
You've never been to space?
You've never been?
It's I think you just gave everyone permission to use a word, not the N word, but the C word, to your face for saying that without repercussions.
Celebrity.
Yes. You dumb celebrity.
Have you all been to space? Have you been to space?
Shut up, you dumb celebrity.
Or go to Blue Origin and see what they do and how they do, and then come back and say, this is a terrible thing.
Yeah. Blue Origin has other flights that don't get publicized because I think it was just a cost-effective way to send other scientists and stuff up there to do certain things. And she's right in that aspect. They have that branch or that division of the company that goes and does this. What you did was not that.
No.
You had 2 scientists up there.
A guest.
You weren't conducting experiments. You weren't bringing up biological life forms to see how they reacted in space. You weren't bringing up vaccines and viruses and blood work.
You were trying to see if ants can sort tiny screws.
Yeah.
Is it expensive? Yes. But one of the things they're trying to do, if you get enough people who are interested, it doesn't have to be that expensive.
It could go from 25 million to 18 million. If enough millionaires out there would just start a GoFundMe, we could start getting more millionaires up in space.
Number one. Number two, I don't like that people are calling it a ride. A ride, you never see a male astronaut who's going up in space and they said, oh, he took a ride.
Because the majority of them were astronauts that did it. And I'll go back
test pilots
right.
or anything else other than the 10-hour online course you probably took on how to buckle your seatbelt at the end of your ride.
We'll even go back to, I'll backtrack to when we were talking about William Shatner. In no way did he assume that this was a scientific expedition. Was he an astronaut? No. He went through whatever safety courses that they have to legally required for him to go to do this. It was a ceremonial gesture for him to go up there. And he appreciated it for what it was, a ride, a journey, a venture. This was not anything scientific or military based or any kind of advancement. So everybody is completely right to say, stop calling yourselves astronauts. You're not an astronaut. This was not a scientific mission. This was a ride.
We actually duplicated the route that Alan Shepard did. That's why it's called.
We went into the upper atmosphere and then past the upper atmosphere into low orbit, just like Alan Shepard.
Yeah,
This
you're
particular
about
capsule is called
60 miles off.
the New Shepard. We duplicated that route.
For as long as he did?
Nope.
No, you didn't. You were not up there anywhere near the time that he was up there.
No one said he took that ride. Yeah. It's all
Because it wasn't a ride.
Because here's the thing. Technically, we can say Alan Shepard's was a ride. It was the same type of situation where he had no control about what he was doing. He wasn't piloting anything. The problem is he is an astronaut. He was experimenting. We still, again, didn't know if anybody could make that happen. That was a risk. That I will not call it a ride because he risked his life to advance the space program to where it is today.
Yeah.
They paid money to go on a ride.
He had military training. He had survival training.
Test
He had
pilot.
scientists. He had science education and mathematics and all of that stuff that require you for proper advancement of the program, of the human race, of the planet, any of that stuff. None of these people did it. You know what, Gail? You get this.
You're a cunt.
to as a flight or a journey. So I feel that that's a little disrespectful to what the mission was. And
It wasn't a mission.
what the work that Blue Origin does. Number 3, I've had so many girls and women and some guys who are saying, "Whoa, I saw what you did. I'm thinking maybe I should reconsider. Maybe I could do."
You know what?
Young-
I was going to buy a house this year, but I figured, you know what? I'll spend all that money as a down payment to go on this ride, and I still won't be able to do it because no one can do this, Gayle. Like, it's so fucking tone deaf to say stuff like, "Have you been?" or maybe I can reconsider that. Maybe I can do it. No one can do it. That is the point of this, is that the only people that have been able to be a space tourist, which you are, and go on that ride, which you did, is because you know somebody or you paid a very large amount of money to do that.
Yeah.
Like, it's ridiculous how much money it costs to do this. And you're talking like, well, someone said, "Hey, Gayle can do it. I can do it." No, you fucking can't. Gayle can do it because Oprah gives her money. It's just ridiculous.
Miss B in the chats there saying also, how did their shuttle land so gently in the desert, but usually the pods land in the ocean?
Right.
Also, where are the scorch marks from re-entering the atmosphere? Those things are usually charred, blackened at the bottom from the base of it is the one that's cutting through the atmosphere. Not a mark on there. You could see the painted on American flag perfectly. You could read the name on it perfectly. Doesn't work like that.
Now, here's the thing. Gray's saying they weren't high up enough for atmospheric friction. Now, I can give you that because we did see that guy from Red Bull go up pretty high, almost pretty close to that spot, and then he jumped out without any issue. Sure, I'll give him that. However, they still hit the ground going 25, 30 miles an hour. That would hurt. You can't go 10 miles an hour in a car and hit another car without any kind of repercussion. Now go 30 miles an hour and hit a wall. You're going to be in pain. And these women came walking out like nothing was a problem.
Is this true? You could see the jets fired during the landing? I saw it for the
I saw a lot of
for the actual rocket. I didn't see it for that.
I saw a lot of that dirt pop up. So that could have been a thing. But come on.
Maybe I could do this too. The young girls in particular. But it's not just the young girls. We're also encouraging, I mean, the boys look at it and see what women and young girls can do.
No, like Jordan said, no, they didn't.
No, they don't.
They didn't reach it. So this was from either Wednesday or Thursday morning. So you're 3 days removed at most from this thing here. When did you have a chance to go and talk to school children? When? Were you doing speaking engagements? Because you went right back on the air for CBS This Morning. As soon as they cleared you, you went right back on the air. Where did this happen? Twitter? Instagram? TikTok? Were you getting TikToks telling you because of Gayle King, I think I want to go to space too?
Yeah. God forbid you go over the 60 plus years of space travel and science and people to look up to and tragedies and successes. I think because Gayle King can do it, I can do it too. She is a pioneer in her field. All
right, let's give Gayle the benefit of the doubt of this. She goes, I've heard from a lot of people, a lot of young people, boys and girls saying, because I've said, I think I could do this too. I think I want to go to space. Okay, so if you did encourage them to think about that as a career path, as a life path, you encourage them
no way to get that
to go. No, you encourage them to go through the proper route of school, of science, of I guess essentially military training to be an astronaut, going through all of that stuff to be proper astronauts to go into space. What you did as space tourism, I like that term,
coined it,
did not influence people to go the hard route, the realistic route to progress science, to progress space exploration. You took a journey, a jaunt. You took a glorified vacation to do all this.
Call it a ride.
We inspired people to go on a cruise. Yeah, sure did.
So I know there are cranky Yankees. I know there's some haters, but I'm not going to.
Yankee crankies.
Cranky Yankees, huh?
I should go re-edit that footage, put it back up there. I know there's some Yankee crankies. It's like, wait, what? She's going to jerk-off shops? What is she doing?
Yankees, I know there's some haters, but I'm not going to let people steal my joy and steal the joy of what we did or what we accomplished that day. I'm just not going to let it in.
You didn't accomplish anything.
She didn't accomplish.
You accomplished nothing.
I'm not.
Okay. You can say, well, you're not going to take away the vivid memories that I had from my vacation. Okay. I'm with you there. They can't stop you from that because you did it. But you didn't accomplish anything. Now, we're going to finish all this up. About a week before, do you know the fourth hour of the Today Show? It's hosted by Jenna Bush.
I think I've seen like random clips here and there.
Daughter of former President George Bush.
Right, yeah.
She used to do the show
blonde one
with Hoda Coffee for was it Coffee Catby, I think, from the Today Show. Before that, it was Hoda and Kathy Lee Gifford were hosting that fourth hour. But Hoda just left, and now it's called Jenna and Friends, and she has rotating guest hosts for the day, for the week, whatever is going on there. So the week before this, she had Olivia Munn, actress and cosplay gamer, geek, Olivia Munn. She used to pretend that she was all nerdy on G4.
I remember, yeah.
Right. So because of that, she wasn't very well liked or respected in the nerd community, right? But enough time has passed. People still won't like her or what have you. I will say I found a newfound respect for her. One, not just because she, I guess, had an affair with John Mulvaney and Mulaney and had a kid and broke up his other marriage and helped, he went into an alcoholic spiral and now he's recovering. He has a fantastic live show on Netflix. I can't recommend that enough.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
But she was on there as a guest host. And they just revealed on Jenna and Friends that these 6 space tourists were on the cover of Elle magazine because this was a big feature. And apparently Olivia Munn is not having any of this.
What are they doing? Like, why? You know what I mean? Like, I'm just saying this. Okay, I know this is probably not the cool thing to say, but like, there are so many other things that are so important in the world right now. Like what? Like this? It's not. They aren't asked. I mean, there's one astronaut. But like, what are you guys going to do up in space? What are you doing up there? I mean, it's by the way,
they're going for 11 minutes. They're going for 11 minutes. They're going up. I think they're going to float around a little and then come back.
Like Magic Mountain.
She literally described the entire thing.
Yeah. So hold on here.
Like you're just going up
Space Mountain. More appropriately, Space Mountain.
Space Mountain. Well, yeah, I don't. And I have a little bit of a
issue isn't the right word. You're just perplexed.
I just was like, what do you guys need to?
I will point out, Jenna is really trying to curb.
She really is
the outrage, because there's parts I had to cut out of here because they started talking about eyelashes and other nonsense. Jenna's really trying to steer her away from shitting on these women and the whole purpose of this here. And Olivia's not, and she'll go and look at the camera and then brings it right back. And Jenna keeps trying to pull her back. That was like one of the first attempts that you're seeing here.
Mm-hmm. By the way, if you want to go to space, why do you need to tell us about it?
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, just go up there, have a good time, come on down. Also, you know, I just think about, I know this is probably obnoxious, but like it's so much money to go to space.
Yeah.
You know,
yes.
And there's a lot of people who can't even afford eggs.
That's true.
Oh my God, if they bring eggs into space.
The one thing that is universal is they are all going in glam.
What?
Yeah.
That's what's annoying.
Yeah.
They are getting their hair done, their makeup done, even eyelash extensions.
And Jenna's talking about like, isn't that awesome? You know, like,
and she's like, isn't that nice? Like, they're gonna be really pretty. And Olivia's getting like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, this is what these shows that do this kind of, and I usually don't. I've seen Jenna's stuff once in a while. She's usually okay. But when they start going the whole thing about celebrity glam and all this stuff, like it's supposed to be cool and you're awe-inspiring, like you're awestruck by all this stuff, she's like, yeah, they're all going in glam. Olivia Munn is saying to a nicer degree, because she's on network television, what everybody else is thinking about all of this.
Yeah.
Like they said this out loud?
I believe so. In fact, Katy said she was going to put the ass in astronaut. Which is,
you know what I'm thinking about, the two astronauts who were stuck in space for a long time, and they're just now they're back on Earth going, you guys had an extra rocket, like you could have just sent it up to get us.
I mean,
but instead you're sending
for
up
9 months.
Well, what's the point? And is it historic that you guys are going on a ride? I mean, I think it's a bit
over the top,
and I think I just think there are.
You can see how uncomfortable Jenna is with all of this.
Because she's trying to make it light and airy.
Keeps readjusting.
And Olivia's really bringing up like real points. Like, why are we doing this?
Yeah, no one gives a shit about the fourth hour of the Today Show because it's not anything real, news, topics, trendings, whatever. It's just fluff pieces and celebrity, safe havens. I would be like, oh yeah, and tell us what else. I would just be egging Olivia on. Let her go for the hour with this.
Right. This is our Mickey Rourke moment. Let her do what she needs to do.
It's not even that. She seems to be pretty on the ball.
And she's making good points.
Yeah.
I just think there are the cover of Elle magazine. I know. I mean, like, isn't that? I don't know.
Okay. So you're not going to go watch the launch.
They're having a launch party?
I am sure. Aren't they?
I'm sure.
I'm sure they are.
She's exactly like everybody else. She's like, wait, there's a party for this? Is it a red carpet event? Is it a black tie event?
Exploration was to further our knowledge and to help mankind. I mean, what are they going to do up there that has made it better for us down here?
I don't know.
I mean, I don't know if like all that rocket fuel is good. I mean, this is a lot of resources being spent on.
Yeah, and a lot of eyelashes.
Like she wants to say worse, but she's can't come up with it or she's holding. Yeah, I think it's more holding back.
I think she's holding back.
She's perplexed. She's not wrong about all of this stuff here. And I just want to point out, this was a week before the flight. Mm-hmm. Before everybody else is now saying this out loud and thinking all this thing. She was saying it before it even happened.
A lot of resources being spent on.
Yeah, and a lot of eyelash glue to nail that baby down. That's what I can't stop thinking
If they
about.
could
See, again, Jenna,
trying to make it
bring it back to a lot of eyelash glue. They're going to be all glammed up.
stuck up there like Armageddon style.
Oh
you
yeah,
know, and
this
they've
is
got
fun. Hold on.
I can't stop thinking
If they
about.
get stuck up there like Armageddon style, you know, and they've got to like, you know, MacGyver it with their eyelash glue and stuff like that, then I would be excited.
Then that's something
This
you'll
is
tune into.
And I'm not saying I hope they get stuck up there, but wouldn't that be fun?
Yes, that's exactly what we would have said.
Exactly.
Good on Olivia Munn.
For a little bit.
Well, I mean, yes.
Just for a little bit.
Okay, we hope they actually don't, but it is.
Oh, shut up, Jenna.
Disclaimer,
no one's
can't
saying we hope
actually
they
say
die. We're having fun with this. Like, it would be kind of fun if they turned into Lost in Space, like something hit them and they got shot out into space and had to survive on a distant planet.
They're not really going up to space.
They're going.
Hold on, here we go.
Don't, but it is.
They're not really going up to space.
They're going to the very
like
top.
I think if we got like this, we could see them. They're just above the earth.
Good on her.
Just squint. You can see where Katy Perry's hanging out singing "It's a Wonderful World."
Yeah.
You know what? I've never had an issue with Olivia Munn, but like this doesn't really hurt her at all. Like I think that's a great take on
anything.
it. Like,
I think
good
it
for her.
improves.
It really does make her more personable to me. Because I remember she was on the Newsroom, which I really enjoyed. Like she was on G4. Like she's not without merit. You know, personal people.
I think she's
aside,
grown up.
I care less about people's personal.
I think she's grown. She's smartened up.
Has.
And I think she's learned the error of some of her ways.
Sure.
And she's being more realistic about things.
Yeah.
And good on Olivia Munn.
Like
good
because
on
like
her.
she's just like, look, that money could have been spent doing something else.
I just love it. They're having a launch party? Really?
Of course they are.
Yeah. They don't have lunch parties for real astronauts. You know what they do for the next couple of days? You're quarantined with your family, and then you have a night where you're quarantined without your family, and then you go up. That's your launch party.